I'll wait for the door, actually. It's very squeaky.
Coach, how about a scouting report on Butler? What do you know about Butler?
You know, they're a different team than Rutgers because they are more perimeter based and like to shoot a lot of threes. They're going to spread us, very system driven. Austin comes over from IUPUI and he did an unbelievable job there. So it's a tough game. It's a tough game. Every game's tough, especially on the road. But their system, is concerning with how they like to spread you out, their ability to shoot the three and also drive it. So we got to be ready to defend at a high level and be really, really active. And you have to be very urgent when you play a team like this, or they can make you pay from deep.
With Bryn, do you feel like she's starting to find what her role is and a comfort level with what you're kind of expecting out of her this season?
Yeah, I wouldn't say find her role. I would just say kind of, essentially Bryn's a freshman. She didn't play that much last year. So I think she's just getting confident, every game, getting more confident in herself and really what we need from her. So I told her I want her to shoot more and she agreed with that. And, I was happy she got a lot of shots off last game at Rutgers, and I've seen her hit three after three after three in practice, and she just needs a couple of them to go down in the game, and she has the ability to get hot and hit a lot of shots. And I also like that she's scoring not just from three, where last year at Dayton we utilized her more just on pick and pops, and I love her rebounding, her defensive intensity, and she's getting in the mix down low and scoring down there, which is really big for this team.
Was that something that you had been talking to her about, shooting more building into that game or just right before the game, or has that just kind of been a constant discussion with her?
It was just a discussion in our last individual meeting that we had, a few days leading into the last game. So, she knows it, and really all these guys know it. Like, they have the green light. If you put the work in and you show that ability, then I want you to shoot the ball. So she understands it, and she's doing it.
Full disclosure, I saw Genesis in the overhang here. Like, she's still got a big bump in front of her eye. Like, do you have to, hold her back a little bit in practice just to make sure she's good?
Yeah, today, she wanted to practice, and she came out and literally had her whole eye patched and goggles over it. And I just am like, she got shots up, and I'm like, this isn't worth you practicing right now. We need her available for Sunday. So I pulled her myself from that. And but she's tough. Like, she was going to come out here and practice literally with a complete eye patch on one eye. And I'm like, I just don't want her to get hit blindsided because she can't see. And then, we have bigger problems than that.
So coaching college basketball, these days you got to build a roster from scratch just about every year, it seems like. So what was the formula for you starting in the summer to take these players and kind of stir them up and create a team out of them?
Yeah, it was obviously, it's different now with the transfer portal. So we had the 5 kids that remained from last year, and then we kind of built from there of what we needed. And obviously, I knew Makaira was coming, and then that kind of Genesis got in the transfer portal pretty early as well, her and Makaira. So we got them, and just kind of started building from there. But I know I've said it before, but I knew what those, obviously the kids that played for me, but then Genesis, I knew her game because I had recruited her before. So, I knew what she would bring. And then once they got on campus, it was about, trying to get them as tight as they can possibly be in terms of chemistry and relationships. Because I know, that's what matters. If they're not tight, if we don't have good chemistry, it does not matter what I run or what defense we play. Like, that was my main thing with them, is we got to get tight. We gotta get to a level where we trust and respect each other. And I give our kids a lot of credit because they were very intentional in that in the summer.
So did you have a timetable where you felt you would be highly competitive? And are you ahead of that schedule, you think?
Yeah, I said it all along. I think I said it in my initial press conference. I'm like, we'll be good when we're good. And I don't know when that is or what that looks like. So I didn't put any timetable on it. In my mind, like, all I know is to compete and prepare, and I want to win every single game. So that's kind of our mindset. I didn't know what that would look like. But I know how we were going to attack stuff and how we were going to prepare, and the mentality that I was going to instill in these guys was we're playing to win. I don't care who we have out there, we're playing to win.
I know you talked about the buy-in that you got here, but to hear Kendall talk about the importance of the details and stuff that's kind of really fundamental to your program, how much of that is, I guess, music to your ears to hear some of those five holdovers buy into that and dive into that as much as they have to get to where you're at?
I think you're right. I think that's why, maybe we are here right now and, and have some of the wins that we have because of their buy-in. So I give them credit for trusting us and listening and, I've said it many times, but they didn't have to do that. Some people want to try to fight it or, they want to be stubborn with it. And they were just, from the start, they're like, okay, like, coachable and want to know, never battled it. So, and I think since they, kind of embraced all that, we've been able to go on with our process and it's working. So.
Is there anything you guys are doing now in the first week of December that you just didn't think was going to be here at this point that you thought might be a January, February development?
Probably just our ability to score in some of the games, the numbers we're putting up. I thought offensively, the defense, I knew we'd just continue to plug along and get better, and that's something that, the process kind of plays itself out, and I saw they were buying in and working hard on that. But I think just the chemistry offensively, for not playing together that much, like we play really well together and we share the ball really well, and that was probably something, that has maybe surprised me a little bit, that I think we're a little ahead of schedule.
Are you at a point already where no matter what, Makira or Jen, I know you've done the 2-point guard thing throughout your career, but no matter who was running the team, you can get into whatever you need to get into?
Yeah, yep. And you're right, we've done it multiple times with 2-point guards, and I like that. I love to have that ability to have two. You take one away, well, we have another one, especially when teams start pressing us. And both of them are scoring point guards, so they both have the ability to score at all three levels. And I think it just is a huge benefit for us to be able to have two. And I trust them both out there with the ball in their hands late in the game.
How unique of a time of year is it too, with finals kind of ending? You get maybe a little bit more time, some different practice times, some different practice schedules, maybe a little bit more of an ability to work on different things.
Yeah, I think it'll be good for us. Like, I'm trying to cram in a lot of stuff in a practice, and I don't like to go longer than 2 hours in a practice. And we've had this past week, probably 2 weeks, we've had some practices that have been a little bit over 2 hours. And I also have to be mindful that we're not the deepest team, like we're a pretty tight 7, 8, that play a majority of the minutes. So I got to start, looking at ways to still get in a lot of stuff and work on stuff, but lower some of the high volume reps for some of our guys that are playing, a lot of minutes.
This team seems to have some toughness about them too. Is that something that was in the players, or is it something you had to instill in the group?
I think that's a mixture, right? Like, I think, it's not like I came in and just like all of a sudden you're tough, but I think that you have to demand certain things. And I think that how a leader is also kind of can rub off on some of their mindset. So they have toughness in them. And I'm constantly, to probably I know I annoy them with it, but I'm constantly demanding and on them about being tough, being gritty, doing all the little things. Like, that is what I want our identity to be. Like, that's, for me, the best compliment you can give our team is that we're tough or we're disciplined. Like, that's music to my ears.
How much does just the personality and demeanor of McIver Cook play into that and help instill that?
Yeah, she's a really tough kid too, and she's also pretty even keel and doesn't get too high or low. Now she plays with a lot of passion, which I love, but to have that from your leader, the person with the ball in their hands a lot, you need that type of guard, and I think both of our point guards have that toughness quality to them, and that sets the tone for the rest of our team.
Did you instantly know that Ryan was going to be a great fit for Kendall with what her skill set and what she wants to do?
Yeah, and I also, we had recruited Kendall too, so there was a previous relationship with that, which I think helps a lot. Ryan was the lead recruiter on her, when we were at Dayton and recruiting her, so he knew her family really well. He worked really, really hard to try to get her to Dayton, so I think that having that, that initial relationship, and then, with the way he teaches, and I knew it would, I knew it would work really well.
hopefully I can phrase this in a way that makes sense, but like how much do you use, like there's such a barometer, like could change year over year, be it the net, the record, as a barometer of progress versus like, I don't want to keep talking about where this program was before I got here. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I mean, it is what it is, right? Like, again, where I'm worried about right now, and I really don't care, I also think you have to, there is some substance to it, right? And what our players are doing and how they've really come into this season. I mean, and again, I don't let my mind work like that because I'm so in the moment and in the process, and I think I can get to that maybe later. But like if I were to take a step back and look at it from that broad view, I'm like, okay, like this is, we've done some things, but I'm trying to I don't think like that because I have to keep my blinders on because I got to be in the present, in the moment, and be where our feet are, and I want our players to do that, but I also want them, like, no matter if it's here or any other program, every win, I tell them, like, you need to be proud of it, you need to celebrate it, and then tomorrow, win or lose, we move on, and we're preparing for the next one. But it's hard to win college basketball games. It is really, really hard. So every win that we get, I want them to be happy about it, and winning's fun. Like, so I want them to enjoy those moments, but never get too high or too low, if that makes sense.
Keys to the game against Butler for your team?
No, we got to take care of the basketball. We got to rebound, obviously, and then we got to guard the three-point line. We got to be able to guard the three-point line and be able to keep people in front of us as well. We can't run them off the line and now because they're either three-point shooters or straight-line drivers. So really our closeouts are going to be, and the discipline of our closeouts are going to set the tone for this game.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you, guys.